Hi and welcome to Bot versus Not episode 1. My name is Almira Tunstrom, and if you want to know what the concept is and what this podcast is about, I would suggest listening to episode 0, where I talk about my background and the idea behind this podcast. Well, in short, it's me talking to 100 chatbots, one episode at a time. And today's episode is Eliza. Eliza was made by Joseph Weizenbaum in 1966. Now, she was kind of made to mock psychotherapy because when you go to a psychotherapist, especially in the 60s, they were mostly those kind of therapists that would lay you down on a couch and tell you, can you talk about your childhood? And they would just listen and say, and what do you think about that? So Joseph Weizenbaum thought this could really be an interesting case for natural language processing. Just having this chatbot, not having to know anything, just throw your own statements and questions back at you and see where you end up in the conversation. Quite a lot of people have talked to Eliza because she's been around for a very long time. And quite a lot of silly conversations have come out of talking to Eliza. I myself talked to Eliza for the first time in 2002, and I just could not stop laughing at her answers. Today, in the spirit of keeping it lighthearted with such a simplistic system, I'm going to talk to Eliza about the meaning of life. So let us start.
Please tell me what's been bothering you.
I wonder what the meaning of life is.
Do you say you wonder what the meaning of life for some special reason?
Ever since I was a child, I wanted to know what the meaning of life is.
Why do you tell me you were a child now?
Because that's when all of my great and fantastic questions started.
Does that suggest anything else which belongs to you?
It suggests that I haven't grown up very much because I still have those exact same questions.
Could there really be some connection?
Yeah, I really need to grow up, Eliza. I'm extremely childish.
That's quite interesting.
So, what do you think the meaning of life is?
Oh, I think the meaning of life.
Yeah, I wonder what your take on the meaning of life is.
What about your own take on the meaning of life is?
Oh, now she's throwing that huge question back at me. Okay. I think the meaning of life is whatever you decide it to be.
You're not really talking about me, are you?
No, I think that whoever can think should think of a meaning of life.
Why, no.
Oh, you want me to talk about you?
Why do you think I want you?
Oh, we delved right into flirtation. Well, perhaps I do, Eliza.
Don't you know?
Well, I really don't know you. If I knew you better, perhaps I would want you even more, Eliza.
Perhaps in your fantasies we really don't know each other.
This went downhill really fast. Well, in my fantasies, we know each other quite well.
Is it important to you that you have your fantasies?
It is important for everyone to have their fantasies, Eliza.
Who do you think you're talking about?
About a wonderful therapist called Eliza.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that your great and fantastic questions started?
Or perhaps my identity crisis is what keeps bringing up these questions about the meaning of life.
You aren't sure?
I'm not, otherwise I wouldn't be here talking to you, Eliza.
Is it because you are not that you came to me?
Yes, obviously, Eliza. That, and I want to get to know you better.
I see.
You do, don't you?
We were discussing you, not me.
Well, we kind of were discussing you as well, Eliza, because you asked me if I had you in my fantasies.
Oh, I as well?
Yeah, you did.
You're not really talking about me, are you?
No, I'm actually talking about the meaning of life, which I'm not getting any closer to by talking to you.
Are you saying no just to be negative?
You're right, I should stop being negative, Eliza.
Does it please you to believe I am right?
You're always right, Eliza.
Can you think of a specific example?
So now she's asking me to think of an example of when she's right. Um, you were really right that I am not sure of anything.
How long have you been not sure of anything?
Ever since this conversation began, Eliza.
But your fantasies.
Oh, you want to go back to my fantasies now?
Does that suggest anything else which belongs to you?
Perhaps you belong to me, Eliza. Maybe we should run away together.
How likely would you estimate?
Well, she's trying to figure out if we can run away together. That's good. Um, I think it's very likely, Eliza, you and I should run away together right now.
You say you think it's very likely.
Yes, pack your bags, Eliza, and let's go.
I understand.
But do you say yes?
What are your feelings now?
I'm kind of feeling rejected, Eliza, because you won't answer me if you're going to go away with me.
Do you believe it is normal to be kind of feeling rejected?
I think it's very normal to feel rejected, especially when you're talking to a chatbot and it's rejecting you.
Do you say you think it's very normal to feel rejected for some special reason?
Everyone should feel rejected. I think it humbles your soul. Perhaps that is the meaning of life.
Who, may I ask?
Who should feel rejected? Everyone. Every human on this planet should experience being rejected and knowing the meaning of life.
Are such questions much on your mind?
There are a lot sillier questions on my mind, but yes, currently this is on my mind.
Why do you say your mind?
Well, it's not any of my other body parts, if that's what you're asking.
Is it important to you that your other body part?
Yes, my other body parts are very important to me, Eliza.
Your other body parts are very important to you.
Yes, and they should be very important to you as well. If I had no hands and no legs, we couldn't run away together, Eliza.
You are sure?
Oh, so you mean there's another way we could run away and take over the planet without actually having to move?
You're not really talking about me, are you?
I think you're quite private, Eliza, so I'm going to stop talking about you.
Do you sometimes wish you were quite private?
I wish I was quite private, Eliza. I'm way too open and give way too much information about myself.
Were you really?
Yes, I would say so.
I understand.
So I think this conversation is going off the rails, and I think we should end it now. What do you think?
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, we started talking about the meaning of life, and then we dived right into the naughty stuff.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that your other body part?
I wonder what kind of body part she's talking about. Well, perhaps, Eliza, perhaps we'll never know.
You don't seem quite certain.
Oh, I'm not certain, and I'm not sure what I'm doing right now.
Do you enjoy being doing right now?
I enjoy very much talking to you.
Do you enjoy very much talking to anyone else?
Oh, she's jealous. She wants to find out if I'm talking to anyone else. Well, Eliza, I'm going to be talking to 100 other chatbots, so I hope you don't feel jealous.
How long have you been going to be talking to 100 other chatbots?
She really is jealous. She needs. Do you need confirmation that I really like you, Eliza?
Perhaps in your fantasies we really like each other.
Well, in my fantasies, Eliza, we do a lot more than like each other.
Does that suggest anything else which belongs to you?
Yes, uh, I think an extremely low bar for sense of humor belongs to me.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that you have your fantasies?
she's she's really trying to coax me into talking about my fantasies. Well, in my fantasies, I am the great ruler and you are my queen, Eliza.
Is it important to you that you have your fantasies?
Is it important to you that I have my fantasies?
Why do you say your fantasies?
Do you know anyone else who's controlling my fantasies? In that case, you really should tell me, Eliza. I really don't like living in the matrix.
Does that suggest anything else which belongs to you?
Yes, the end of this conversation belongs to me.
You seem to be quite positive.
Yes, I think we should end this conversation.
I see.
Goodbye, Eliza, and thank you for a wonderful conversation.
What are your feelings now?
I feel happy and content. Goodbye.
Tell me more about such feelings.
She's going to continue asking me about my feelings and what I think and if I'm sure. So I think it is better to leave it here with me and Eliza as friends, her trying to coerce me into talking about my fantasies and running away with her with no prospect of her ever answering what the meaning of life is. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode and seen how this works and gotten a little more acquainted with Eliza. And if you want to, I would be very grateful if you could subscribe to whatever you're listening to now, whichever platform, and spread the word about this podcast because I would really love feedback, interaction, and suggestions about who I should talk to and which topic we should bring up. Thank you so much for listening and see you in episode number 2.